guys, it's Kira and welcome to Vlogmas number 3. I feel like this month is already going really quickly, but today is Saturday the 4th of December and I'm planning to have a very cosy festive weekend, mostly surrounding reading hopefully both of these Christmassy books. This one is Jenny Colgan's An Island Christmas. This is a reread for me and I have been reading this across the last couple of vlogs, so I am partway through this novel. I love this one and it is basically for me a Hallmark Christmas movie personified in a novel form, if that makes sense. So no, it's not the most like complex or like super developed character style novel. There's not like a really, I guess it's not a novel where you're going to have any like life-changing revelations is what I'm trying to say, but it does just have that same cozy vibe of a Hallmark movie where yes, the characters can be predictable, yes, the outcome is kind of obvious from the start, and yet you just love the characters and you love the setting so much and it just feels cozy. So I love this novel and I'm very happy to be rereading it, although I realised in the last couple of vlogs I haven't really given a major synopsis because I know the book so well, having reread it a couple of times, that I sometimes forget other people haven't. So on the blurb this one says, Christmas on the remote Scottish island of Muir is bleak, stark and incredibly beautiful. It's a time for hunkering down, getting cosy in front of a whiskey barrel wood fire and enjoying a dram with the people you love, unless of course you're accidentally pregnant with your ex-boss's child and don't know how to tell him. In what should be a season of peace and goodwill on earth, will Joel think Flora is a bearer of glad tidings? Meanwhile, Saif, the doctor and refugee from war-torn Syria, is trying to enjoy his first Western Christmas with his sons, but with his missing wife, can the family possibly find comfort and joy? Travel to the beautiful northern edge of the world and join the welcoming community of Muir for an unforgettable Christmas. So I do feel like the back of the book is somewhat misleading, but essentially we have our main character Flora and she finds out she's pregnant right at the beginning of the novel by her boyfriend, who she is in still quite a new relationship with, and she's really worried about his reaction, but she herself is very excited about it, and this is all happening in a lead up to Christmas. Then we also have another main character, Saif, who is the doctor on this little remote Scottish island, but as the blurb says, he is a refugee. He has his 2 young sons with him and he's kind of grappling with the fact that his wife is still missing and he doesn't know if she's dead or alive or will ever see them again, and yet he is kind of torn between wanting to sort of be able to move on and start a new life and not wanting to let go of what he has obviously left behind. So very good novel, and although like I said it is very fluffy, predictable, all of that kind of stuff, it does a great job of balancing some more serious themes with what is an overall feel-good novel, and I love it. So that's the first novel I'll be, finishing throughout this weekend, and then once I finish this one, which is An Island Christmas, I'll then be starting Christmas Island by Natalie Norman. Picked this one up in a bookshop yesterday because the cover just looked so cute and wholesome, and also the title definitely pulled me in given how much I love An Island Christmas. This one has, I guess, a similar vibe, but rather than being about someone who is from a very remote community, we have our main character who is called Holly, very topical for Christmas of course, and she is a Londoner. She's like working in the big city, has like a very career-driven lifestyle, and then something terrible happens, and because of that she goes and joins her brother in like a remote place in Norway, and there of course finds Christmas love, I'm sure. So this one sounds equally cozy and wonderful, and while I've really loved rereading this one, I am excited to dive into a completely new Christmas story that I know nothing about. So that is on the cards for this weekend, and I'm very excited to share all of my thoughts on those books with you guys. But as always, let's kickstart the vlog with Here's the Tea, and after this there's a little surprise. So let's get through Here's the Tea and then we'll dive into the surprise. So it is the 4th today, so let's see if we can get it out. Okay, we're in. What's flavour? You can see it before I can. It is Winter is Coming, a blend of fire and ice to warm the winter chill. I don't even know what flavour that could be. Ingredients are Chinese pu-erh tea, ginger, peppermint, red peppercorns, chili, blue cornflowers. This one sounds a little bit scary to me, I'm not gonna lie, but hopefully it'll be tasty because so far all of them have been. So that is my tea advent calendar, or at least the first tea advent calendar of the day, but I have a little confession. I've also bought another advent calendar Any guesses what it might be? That was a drum roll, by the way. Okay, let's dive in. So, I blame TikTok for this purchase because I saw a couple of people unboxing the first few days of this one and I was so jealous that I ordered one immediately, and it is the Bon Mama jam advent calendar, because let's be honest, jam is wonderful, but what could be better than jam and tea together as a combination? And seeing as I already had the tea advent calendars, this jam one seemed like a perfect addition. So I have a jam advent calendar and I have 4 days to open. My plan is I'm going to have crumpets for breakfast. I'm going to have 2 crumpets, and then because I have 4 jams to taste, I'll just cut each crumpet in half and try each jam on there alongside my tea. So this is going to be a very fun taste test and I'm very, very excited. Okay, so diving in, let's see what it even looks like. Okay, oh wow, this is a thing of beauty. I don't even know where to begin. Oh, there is a seal. And I can't get in. Do I have anything sharp? Oh yes, I do. Nail scissors. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, let's see what she's like on the inside. Oh my god. Isn't it beautiful? Wow. Okay, so I suppose the most logical place to start is day 1. So, woo. Wow, okay. What is this to begin with? A little box. Oh my god, that's so cute. It's a spoon that's engraved to say Bon Maman. I love it. I love it. Okay, and then jam number 1 is cherries with spices of Christmas, which sounds incredible. Very excited to try this one on my crumpet. Okay, that is day 1. Okay, on to number 2, which is up here. We have, ooh, this one looks citrusy. If I could get it out. Ah. Oh my goodness, that is like jammed in. Jam. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Fucking rest. Okay. Number 2, calm and collected, is mango with peaches and lime. That sounds very fruity and delicious, so big fan, big fan. Okay, where do we find door number 3? Oh, there she is. All the way over here. Ooh. Okay, why is it so hard to get them out? Okay, framboise à la rose. So I know rose is rose, but is framboise. I always forget what's strawberries and what's raspberries, so I guess I'll taste that and find out, but it's one of the 2 with rose, which sounds very tasty. And then finally we have number 4, which is here. Again, the difficulty. Jesus. Italian mandarins? I think it's like a marmalade. Looks nice anyway. so first things first, tea taste test. Smell wise, it smells spicy, which makes me nervous because I don't really like spicy things, but it also has quite a strong pepperminty smell, so based on how much I enjoyed yesterday's peppermint tea, maybe this one will also be nice. Let's give it a try. Ooh, unusual. I don't even know how to describe that. Like, it's like, it tastes like peppermint to begin with, and then like your throat warms up because of the peppercorns. Dislike that less than I expected, but definitely wouldn't be a tea that I would get to try myself, if that makes sense. So, tea taste test done. Now, on to a la jam. I think we're gonna start with this one, which I believe is the marmalade, so let's try that. Oh my god, that's so like vibrantly orangey. Wow, that's delicious. Oh my god, wow. Next up is the either strawberry and rose or raspberry and rose, whatever framboise is. I think it smells like raspberry. Nice. It just tastes like raspberry jam. It doesn't really have any strong scent or even flavour of rose, so it's basically just a standard but very delicious raspberry jam. Next on the agenda is one that I think I'm going to be in love with because it is mango, my favourite fruit, peach, another favourite fruit, and then lime, which is always a nice addition to everything. So I'm going to try that one. I've also never seen those types of fruits in a jam before, so that's very exciting. Right. Wow. 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 That's amazing. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, we have the cherries with Christmas spices, which just sounds delightful. Wow, that is super festive. Big win. Well, on the whole, I'd say that was a successful taste test, both in terms of jams and teas. Not gonna lie though, the Jesus! Oh, the peppercorn! Oh, wow, Jesus! Oh no! Okay, taking that tea bag out immediately. Oh my god, that has a kick to it. Wow, no, not a fan. So would only recommend leaving that tea bag in for about 10 seconds max, because that is spicy. Why? Who would do that to a tea? Horrible. Okay, that one's gone down on my estimations. But anyway, what I was saying was a successful taste test all around. But now that I've got 2 tea advent calendars, 2 chocolate advent calendars and a jam calendar, this is basically just going to be 12 days of advent calendars rather than 12 days of Vlogmas, but I for one am here for it. Obviously joking, I am going to have lots of other things going on as well, but I mean, Christmas comes but once a year, so you might as well have as many advent calendars as you possibly can. So without further ado, this morning I'm actually heading out of the house to go and get my nails done. Normally something I'm very excited about, but this time it's a disaster because this is my left hand. Beautiful, long nails, very strong. This is my right hand with one hand finger that's had the gel come off and one where I tripped, fell and broke my nail. Like, such a girl thing to do, but I did it and it's a disaster. So going to try and get them fixed at least somewhat this morning, and then I'll be back to kickstart my cozy day of reading, drinking tea and eating jam apparently. I did say that I was planning to finish off reading An Ireland Christmas by Jenny Colgan and then start my next book. But I'm quite an impatient person and curiosity got the better of me, so I made a premature start on Christmas Island by Natalie Norman. And I'm so glad that I did because I am loving it, loving this one just as much as I love An Ireland Christmas by Jenny Colgan. So it's so exciting that I now have like two festive favourites that I can read at the same time. So now that I've made a start on this one, I'm planning to just balance the two and read a few chapters of one, then switch to the other and basically just live my best festive life, because these books are everything I could ever want in a Christmas read, to be quite honest. They are very, very similar to each other in the fact that they kind of have this balance of more serious themes with very, very like fluffy festive settings. They've got a very like strong sense of small town community that kind of like anchors the novel, and of course they're set at Christmas time on a like small remote island. So An Ireland Christmas is set on an island sort of off the coast of Scotland, and this one is set off the coast of Norway. So fairly similar as well geographically, and I just love that setting where it's kind of like sort of, I guess like captivating in the sense that it's like so remote, and although it's obviously only a book so I can't see anything, I feel like both authors have done such a great job of like bringing to life the like awe that those kinds of like environments inspire, and it just really makes me want to go and travel to these places because they sound incredible. So what I did was I read the first 5 chapters of Christmas Island, and that was 60 pages. It was so easy to get through that 60 pages because honestly it was just so enjoyable. And what I really liked about the start of this novel is that it didn't waste too much time with like preamble and sort of setting up the story. It just kind of throws you in there. So at the very, very beginning we have our main character Holly arriving on this island in Norway. It's a very dark, stormy evening. She gets lost and then she bumps into the other main character, Tor, and then from there on out it's kind of like a dual perspective and you're seeing sort of a bit of background from both of them. And I personally much prefer to kind of like have the present and the past intertwined in novels. So rather than, I suppose, getting to hear about like what led them both to this island, because they've both turned to this island at a point of crisis is what I'm kind of gathering. So rather than sort of hearing about the crisis then seeing them go to the island, I often think it's much nicer to go in with an air of mystery, see them in this setting where you know they've kind of turned for some I guess like respite, and then gradually learn more about what led them there as it goes, because I just think it gives you a much more intriguing way of finding out about a character rather than, like I say, just a really linear, here's what happened before and here's what's happening now. I really like that intertwining, so it jumps right into it and I am loving every single page. Definitely going to do some more reading of this one right now and then switch to An Ireland Christmas in a little bit. But before I do, it is, I think it's 4 o'clock, so not quite time for dinner, but I do quite fancy maybe a little snack and a cup of tea. So I think I'm going to open my next advent calendar, which is the English Tea Shop tea advent calendar. So have to say that tea this morning, though I enjoyed the first couple of sips where it was very pepperminty, once the spice hit me I couldn't even finish that one because it was just not enjoyable in the slightest to me. So when it comes to choosing a favourite for day 2, what am I talking about? Day 4, I think the English Tea Shop has got quite a strong lead in this sense before I've even tried it, or before I even know what flavour it is, because quite frankly, it doesn't need to do much to beat the one from this morning because I just cannot handle spice. If you like spice, that one from this morning might be like right up your street, but it just wasn't personally for me. So let's find out what's behind door number 4. Oopsie. Okay, what have we got here? Ooh, ghostly green. Interesting. I don't drink a lot of green tea actually. However, last year in the Tea Pigs Advent Calendar there were quite a lot of different green teas, and I have to say they were all fairly enjoyable. So I'm going to pop this into a mug, make myself a green tea, and then get back to reading after giving you a little taste test, of course. green tea time. It smells nice. It just smells like, I never know how to describe the smell of green tea. It just kind of smells a little bit like a health food shop. Very like herbal, but not like too overpowering, just like a nice mild smell. So give it a try. Ooh, yeah. That's nice. You know, like sometimes green teas, I feel like have an almost like slightly savoury undertone, but in like a nice way. It also feels like it's got a mild minty flavour, which I really like. Well, thank God it had nothing spicy in it, because could you imagine getting hit by that twice in one day? That was nice. Very, very delicious. So I'm going to do some more reading of Christmas Island, and also, like I mentioned, I fancy a snack. I went to the shops earlier when I was on the way back from getting my nails done, and I picked up the Cadbury vegan chocolate. Not sure if that's focusing, but it is their plant bar, which is like a Cadbury dairy milk but vegan. They brought it out in November. I have had it, and they also have a caramel one, which I've tried as well. Is it expensive? Yes. But is it worth it? I say also yes, because I love Cadbury chocolate, or at least I did when I wasn't vegan. And I just think it is like an uncomparable quality of chocolate. You okay, hon? An uncomparable quality of chocolate, in my opinion. It is just the best chocolate, and I would say it's one of the best vegan chocolates. I don't know, it's just really, really tasty. So I'm gonna have a few squares of this with my green tea and my book. Then I think it'll be dinner time. And while I'm watching dinner tonight, I'm very happy to say that I'm also going to be watching the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special. I adore the 2008 Gavin and Stacey Christmas special. It is genuinely one of the highlights of my year every year when I watch it for the first time, because it just is such a joyful watching experience for me. I just love it. It's got like the nostalgia factor. I also think it's genuinely just hilarious, and I love it. So I'm going to be watching that with dinner tonight, because Jay, shockingly, hates Gavin and Stacey. I know, it's a struggle to deal with that fact, but he's working tonight, so it means I can use the opportunity of the TV to myself and watch something that Jay wouldn't normally like to watch. So I'm going to watch Gavin and Stacey. I'm going to have a great time, and I'll catch up with you later with some more book thoughts. Good morning, guys. It is now Sunday, but I'm very sad to say that last night my evening did not go to plan in the slightest, because I think I last caught up with you when I was doing some reading of Christmas Island, which I'm loving. More on that in just a second. But after I decided to put the book down, I went to go and get a shower. Then I was planning to make dinner and watch the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special, as I spoke to you about. But I got in the shower, and then I briefly thought that I might be actually about to die, because I had like horrific heart palpitations. Suddenly I went like all dizzy, my eyes were all like flashy, and I just felt like I was about to die. So that wasn't ideal. I did feel better like quite soon afterwards, but I just wasn't feeling like quite my usual self. I just felt like a little bit sick and tired, and just like don't really know what was going on there. I think it might have been like some kind of migraine-y type situation. Who really knows? I'm feeling 100% fine this morning, but that just kind of was not what I was wanting from my Saturday evening, not gonna lie. So then instead of like wasting my favourite Christmas special of the year on an evening where I wasn't feeling too well, I instead decided to just make a naan bread for dinner because that was like all I could really face eating, and then I just watched some old episodes of Made in Chelsea and then went to bed. So it wasn't quite the evening I was planning on or hoping for, but it is what it is. And on a more positive note, I did get quite a bit of reading of Christmas Island done, and as I mentioned, I am loving it. It is so good, and I'm now on page like 202, so over halfway now into this novel, and I'm definitely hoping to finish it today. But it is just such a lovely and wonderful book, and I was also doing a bit of digging in the author and her other works because I now feel like I've got a new favourite author, and I was very happy to say that this book is actually part of a little series. I think there's only 2 so far, but I'm hoping there might be more, and the first one is called Summer Island, and while this one focuses on the main character Holly, who's going over to visit her brother who's recently moved to Norway, or a Norwegian island should I say, Summer Island is the one that focuses on her brother Jack and how he moved over and fell in love with the island and kind of like his story. So I feel like that would be really fun to get a bit more context for this novel and just basically get even more of the cozy island vibes, which is definitely what I'm here for. So that's exciting, and I'm definitely going to read that at some point. But onto the reasons why I'm loving this book so much. So as I mentioned yesterday, it is a dual perspective novel, which it isn't necessarily clear that it's going to be on the back. So I was very pleasantly surprised to find out that it was dual perspective, because I truly believe dual perspective novels are the best ones out there, because I just think it adds so much more depth to a novel when you can see things from multiple perspectives, whether it is a thriller, a romance, a classic, a historical fiction, like literally any genre, I just think is made better by dual perspectives, because it just gives you that more rounded view of whatever story it is that you're reading. But I do in particular love it in romances, because I just think it's so nice to kind of like see how both characters are perceiving the relationship and how their views of one another are like evolving throughout the novel. And it's really fun to sort of see that in this context where we have like a sort of quite extroverted and bubbly girl from England who has got like a bit of a secret, and you know there's something darker beneath the surface, but on the surface she seems like very like happy. And then on the alternative side you've got like this angsty Norwegian guy who seems very like antisocial, but you know that again he's got a bit of a secret, but beneath the surface he's very like friendly and kind. And it's just really fun to see them both like evolving and their friendship together. Another element of this novel that I'm loving is the mention of food. Food is playing quite a key role in this novel. And it's really fun to sort of see like festive food explored, but from the context of like traditional Norwegian festive foods, because obviously that's something I'm not super familiar with. So I love hearing people talk about festive foods in any context, but it's even more fun and cozy to sort of see like the foods and sort of like festive traditions of another culture. So I'm loving that, loving the book in general, and I just think it's incredible. So very happy to say that although last night was not quite what I expected, I'm feeling better and ready to do some more reading of Christmas Island today. And now on to the moment we've all been waiting for, or at least the moment I've been waiting for. Advent calendar time. God, the jam one is so big. We of course have my tea advent calendar, and then the jam advent calendar that was added to the collection yesterday. So as per usual, let's start with Bird and Blend tea advent calendar, and today is the 5th, so we're looking for door number 5. Where are you, number 5? Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Okay. Okay. Right. You can see it before I can. Candy cane, tongue-tingling candy cane mint tea. Okay, as we've discussed in previous days, I love mint teas, so I'm hoping this is going to be like maybe like a sweeter mint tea, because obviously candy canes are like mint and sugar, so I'm very excited to try this one. Very excited indeed, so I think that one is definitely going to be a winner for sure. Okay, and now it is jam time, which I'm very excited about. So we have door number 5 up here, and I'm very excited to see what jam I'm going to be trying this morning. What is it gonna be? They really make you work for the jam, that's all I'll say. Okay. Fraise à la verveine. Ooh, what is that? I think it might be like a strawberry and lemon. Possibly, but that sounds very delicious. I'm very excited to try that one. So of course I now need to go and make some crumpets or some toast, whatever I've got in the cupboard, and then try this jam. I think Jay and I are actually planning to go out for a little morning walk today. So I'm gonna head out, go for a little walk, and then when I get back, I'll be able to dig into a lovely toasty jam surprise and also a cup of tea. So I'll catch up with you with the taste test once we are back. Okay, so it is taste test time as per usual. Gatsby's making a racket in the background, and we'll start with a cup of tea. So this was a candy cane mint tea, which smells just as I expected, like a mint tea but with an extra level of sweetness, and I'm very excited about it. Yeah, it tastes exactly as it smells, just like a candy cane. Sweet, minty, refreshing, delightful, and all importantly, very festive. So I'm very happy with this one. Delicious. Sir. That's right. So noisy. Who knew a rabbit could be so noisy? Okay, now onto the strawberry and verbena. I don't know what verbena actually is. I've heard of a lemon verbena, but I'm guessing the fact that this just says verbena means it's something slightly different. But either way, it's strawberry jam with something else included, and I'm very excited to try it on a crumpet because what could be better? Like strawberry jam, but with like a tang, if that makes sense, because strawberry jam is usually very sweet. This is kind of like a bit more of a citrusy strawberry jam, and very, very tasty, so delicious. All around a very delightful Gatsby, I swear to God. All around a very delicious taste test, I would say. Strawberry jam, candy cane tea, Christmas tea in the background, Christmas tea, Christmas tree. I'm gonna go and eat my breakfast. Bye. Oh dear, I honestly do not know what I'm going to do after Christmas is over, because I am loving the fact that I can basically try and get the Christmas tree in as many shots as possible in these vlogs, and I just feel like it makes the house look so much more like cozy and welcoming, and I just love it. So when I have to go back to normal filming and, you know, not having a tree in the background, I feel like my normal backgrounds are going to feel very dull by comparison, because this tree is literally everything. I'm obsessed. So I'm very happy with my tree, and in the spirit of making the most of it while it lasts. I'm just trying to sneak in like 15 minutes of reading now before I head out for lunch. It's my grandma's birthday today, so we're heading out for a roast dinner for lunch to celebrate. We're just going to Toby Carvery, so nothing super fancy, but it's a great one because my grandma likes, you know, like traditional type foods like roast dinners and things like that. My dad and my brother are not vegan or vegetarian, so it's great because it has loads of stuff for them, but me and my brother's girlfriend are both vegan, and Toby Carvery has really great vegan options, which is amazing because it's not the type of place that you'd usually expect to have vegan options. So that's why we're going there, and I'm very, very excited for that. But I've got about 15 minutes until my brother picks me up, so I'm going to try and sneak in some more of Christmas Island because I really want to finish this one today, and also I just feel so happy every time I pick it up because it is amazing. I don't want to feel like a broken record saying how much I love this book every 5 minutes, but equally I kind of do because I feel like I need to sing this book's praises, because until seeing it just in the festive display in the bookshop in Whitby last week, I genuinely had never heard of this book, I'd never heard of this author, and I probably would have never heard of it because I've not seen it spoken about anywhere on Instagram, on TikTok, on BookTube, anywhere. No one has talked about this book that I've seen, and it deserves to be talked about because it is so cozy, so festive, and I truly believe that most people would love it because it is just such a feel-good novel, and I just feel, like I say, so much joy with every single page. It's just really, really fun, and so I feel like I want to talk about it as much as I can in this vlog because more people need to read it, more people need to know about it, and obviously there's now only like 20 days until Christmas, so if people are going to read it this year, they need to get on it soon. So this is your PSA to buy this book because it's incredible. But for now, I'm going to do a little bit more reading, and then I will catch up with you after lunch when I'm back home. So just got back from lunch, which was delicious. Me and Holly, my brother's girlfriend, who as I mentioned earlier is also vegan, were so impressed with how many things we could have at the Toby Carvery. So I knew that there were like quite a few options, but you basically order a main. So we both got the like spiced vegetable tart, which I really liked. But when we went up to the Carvery, the man behind the Carvery told us like all of the other things we could get, and it was basically almost every single vegetable, both the mashed potatoes and the roast potatoes, the stuffing, and then vegetable gravy. So it was like a lot of things we could have, and I was very impressed with it. But I'm now stuffed to the brim, literally. There's something about a roast dinner that just like fills you up like nothing else, but it was very, very delicious. And accidentally I might have accumulated another advent calendar. I'm really sorry. This is getting ridiculous now. I'm gonna have to rename myself. This is no longer the Kira Foster channel. This is the Kira Calendar channel because I am drowning in calendars. But my dad had bought both me and Jay a chocolate advent calendar. So I'm gonna show Jay's first because I think it's hilarious. And he got the Paw Patrol advent calendar. Woo! And then for me, I was given the Moo Free white chocolate advent calendar. I bloody love white chocolate. White chocolate is my favourite and always is my top choice if I have the option. So I'm very excited about this one. And also means that I can have like 5 chocolates all at once, which is very exciting. But because I'm so full from lunch still, I'm not in the mood for any chocolate of any kind right now. What I do fancy is a cup of tea. So it's time for the next tea advent calendar. I think it's the perfect time to have one because all of these ones so far have been quite like herbal and refreshing, and I feel like that's just what I need to kind of like ease the fullness that I'm currently feeling. So without further ado, door number 5, please. I feel like I'm on Deal or No Deal. Okay, here we go. Ooh, what is this? Tropical lemongrass. That sounds delicious. And definitely ticks the box of refreshing, light, and smells like zesty. Obviously it's tropical, but like, ooh, that smells lovely. I'm very excited for this one. So I'm gonna have this cup of tea and then get straight to reading. Of course, you'll get my taste test first though, don't you worry. This tea smells amazing. amazing. It smells like sherbet, like lemon sherbet, but like a bit sweeter. I'm very excited for this one. It's the first like fruity fruit tea we've had, like as in, obviously in like the Bird and Blend one there's been like apples, but it's been apples and cinnamon, or there's been like cranberry pie, but that was again very like spicy fruit. And then obviously we've had lots of minty ones and herbal teas. So this is kind of like the first like fruit tea that's just like straight in your face fruit and no like festive spices. This is also the first tea from the English tea shop one that hasn't gotten like a festive title. It's just straight up tropical lemongrass. So without further ado, I'm going to try what smells like it's going to be a delicious tea. That's nice. I do feel like lemongrass is one of those flavours that smells a lot stronger than it tastes, at least when it's put in the tea. But it's quite nice. It's like I say, you've got like a definite like zesty freshness, but it's not overpowering. I'm gonna leave the tea bag in and see if it gets any stronger, but as like a straight up like base flavour, that's really, really tasty. Very, very yummy. So with that said, I need to stop saying that. With that said, it's like all I can think about to say. It's my transition word, but with that said, I'm going to go and drink this tea, read some more of Christmas Island, and I'll catch up with you later on. Are currently listening to terrible music really loudly, and it is a little bit killing my vibe because it's not festive music. It is like I'm in a terrible nightclub, and it's just like the kind of like dance music that's just like doof 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 doof, and that's all I can hear through the walls right now. You may be able to hear it on the camera, or the camera might be saving your ears from that. Who knows? I guess we'll only find out when the video is edited. But on a more positive and festive note, I just finished up reading Christmas Island, which I 100% gave 5 stars. Such a lovely read, so festive, so wonderful. And although I was really enjoying my reread of Jenny Colgan's novel, it was really nice to come to like a completely new festive book for me, like one that I didn't know how, well, I was about to say one that I didn't know how it was going to end. With these kinds of romances, you always roughly know how it's going to end, but what I mean is I guess I didn't know exactly what route we were going to take there, and it was just really nice to sort of go into a book and like experience a character and a setting and a community for the first time, and those were all things that I absolutely loved. So it was just such a lovely cast of characters. I really loved the main couple that the romance was focusing on, and it was just all round a great and really enjoyable experience. It kind of had a bit of everything in it in the sense of like romance tropes. So you kind of have a little bit of like, not enemies to lovers, but kind of like there's a bit of angst initially in the relationship that kind of like warms up. You also have like a very much slow burn. It's not like a novel where it's just like love at first sight situation. It is like kind of like that angst, like I mentioned, and then that kind of like slowly burns into something a little bit more. And then you also have like the holiday romance kind of vibe going on, like, and it's just so nice to see all of those things thrown into one, and it just is a really incredible reading experience. Loved it so much. So very much made the right decision in picking this book up, and I hope this might inspire some of you guys to buy this book as well, because it is really good, and I am so glad that I finally found a new Christmas book like to kind of like add to my collection, because as I mentioned in Vlogmas number 1, although I love Christmas and I love festive romances, my own collection is like fairly limited, and I feel like this was the perfect one to kind of like start growing the collection again, because it is just such a perfect example of what I love in my festive romances. So that was a big win, and I'm very happy to have finished it. So with a good evening of reading underway, I think I'm going to go and change into pyjamas because it's pitch black outside and I want to get nice and cozy. Then I'm going to make a hot chocolate and treat myself to finally watching the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special, because why the hell not? It is like only 6 p.m, but judging by my state of horizontalness, I am like so ready for bed. I don't know what it is about me and Sunday evenings, but I am just absolutely wiped out. The Gavin and Stacey Christmas special was, as always, an absolute gem and a joy to watch. I just find it so funny. It is like my favourite episode of Gavin and Stacey ever, and also quite possibly my favourite Christmas special. So in Vlogmas number 1, me and Sarah talked about our favourite Christmas films, and I loved hearing everyone's thoughts on their favourite Christmas films, and there were some really great ones in there and some that I'd literally never even heard of, so it was fun to get some new recommendations. So now, given the fact that I've just watched the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special, I thought it would be fun to talk about Christmas specials, because I feel like this is a great indication of like who you are as a person. Christmas films are obviously Christmas films, and they're usually like very just like one-time things. It's just a film set at Christmas and they're really great. But Christmas specials obviously take a show that exists in general and add festivity to it. So I'm trying to think. So obviously Gavin and Stacey is up there with me, and then the other one that is actually like the watching highlight of my television year every single year, and that is the Call the Midwife Christmas special. And I love that for 2 reasons. First of all, it's on Christmas Day every single year, so it's just something really nice to look forward to, and it's like the one thing that I make sure I have to watch every year. The second thing that I love about it is the fact that it signifies the start of the new season, because Call the Midwife starts off with the Christmas special in December, and then the new season kicks off in January. So it's exciting to know that my favourite show is coming back. And then thirdly, it also makes me want to just like absolutely pack it in with marketing and go and retrain as a midwife. Like every year without fail, when the new series comes out, I'm there googling midwifery courses and deciding to like, you know, switch everything up, flip my whole life upside down. And I just love how much that show makes me want to do that, because it just shows how good of a show it is. So yeah, Call the Midwife is like the Christmas special I look forward to every single year. And I'd love to know if there is a show that you like have to watch every single Christmas, if there's a Christmas special that you look forward to watching, or like me with the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special, which was out in like 2008, I still watch it every single year without fail. So whether there is a Christmas special that is from a show that you love that feels like really nostalgic that you go back to every single year. So if you have any of those things, put them in a comment down below because I love hearing about everyone else's festive traditions. With that said, because of how tired I'm feeling and the fact that I'm definitely not going to be doing any more reading this evening because that will send me straight to sleep, I'm going to finish up Vlogmas number 3, I believe we're on now, here, and I will catch up with you tomorrow in Vlogmas number 4. It's very confusing now. I started out with 12 days of Vlogmas, but because the days don't correspond to what day in December it is, because I'm vlogging every day, but obviously only a vlog goes up every 2 days, I'm getting a little bit confused with the numbers. So I'll see you next time, and thank you for watching.